Namaste and welcome everyone. My name is Kristyn and thank you so much for being here. In today's short video, we're going to move through a very gentle yoga practice, beginner level with room for variation, a yoga practice for scoliosis. In today's practice, we're going to be focusing on core strengthening as well as spinal decompression or lengthening. My only goal for you today is that you feel a little bit better when you step off of your mat than when you step onto it. But in that way, it invites you to listen to your body. I guarantee you, if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. Yoga practice really is in the context of you and your body, and every body is different, and every day is different. So I really invite you to take this practice at your own pace, move to your own accessibility, your own capacity, and just trust that however that might be is perfect just for you today. I really resonate with this practice and these mindful movements, as during my teen years, I suffered a lot from scoliosis and the pain that comes with it during my time when I was training as a provincial gymnast. So I have found personally that yoga has really helped me. And I invite you today to take a few moments to get prepared. You might roll out your yoga mat. You might reach for a bolster, a cushion, a couple of stacked bed pillows, as well as a folded up blanket and maybe an extra pillow. If you have yoga blocks at home, that's wonderful. You can reach for one or two. If you don't have yoga blocks, maybe just grab a couple stacks of books. That can work really nice as well. When you are ready, let's get started. We're going to come into child's pose to begin. And as we're coming down onto the knees or the shins, this is a really wonderful opportunity to take your folded up blanket, place it across the mat, as thick as you would like, and then come down onto the knees or the shins. Untuck the toes, take the big toes together, the knees wide apart, and then reach the arms out in front. Bow the forehead to the earth. Take a moment to settle in here. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. Let go of any of that lingering tension in the hip joints. And now if this still feels like too much, you can always take one or two pillows, even a block, underneath your sits bones and on top of the heels to help lift the hips up and relieve a little bit of that tension in the hips or even the low back. Settling in here into your first pose, child's pose balasana. And just letting the forehead rest here. Allow the head to become heavy, relax into the neck, and all of those muscles around the cervical spine and the upper back and neck. You might even gently rock your head from side to side, just massaging that little space between the eyebrows, the mind's eye center. And with your arms extended out in front of you, I'll just invite you to walk your finger pads a little bit further away from you here. Feel that length, not only into the lateral sides of the body, creating more space for the breath, but also this lengthening into the entire spinal column. And then bring more weight into the sitting bones. So simultaneously, we're lengthening into the spine and also starting to open the hips and stretch out the low back. Just begin to connect deeply with your breath here. Starting to invite in some deeper, fuller breaths. Inhaling all the way down to the base of the spine, into the pelvic floor. And exhaling out through the crown of the head. Maybe welcoming in a little bit more lengthening here on the exhale. And with time and with the release of tension, you might even feel called to inch your finger pads a little bit further away from you. We'll just be here for a few more deep breaths. Just imagining or visualizing that nourishing breath flowing up and down the length of the spine. You might even imagine it like a healing white light. And just welcoming the breath. Breathing three-dimensionally here into the front side of the body, both sides and the back. Beautiful. Begin to hug your navel to your spine. Rise up from your palms onto your finger pads and then walk your hands over and beyond the right side of your mat, welcoming in a nice lateral stretch here, and then relax the forehead back down. Reach a little bit more with your left hand, the left side of the left hand. Maybe even stack the left hand on top of the right. You could even find a nice strong grip here, and then sink more weight into your left sitting bone. Start to deepen the breath in. Imagine as if you could breathe into the left side lung here. Breathing into this beautiful lateral bend, this deep stretch. Just one more breath. And then take as many breaths as you need as you start to walk your hands across the mat, over and beyond the left side. And again, reach a little bit more with the right hand this time, the pinky edge of the right hand. Maybe stack right palm on top of left. And then sink more weight into your right sitting bone. Really honor that side bend. Deep stretch into the right side of the body. And then imagine what the breath feels like as you breathe into the right side lung. This shape in the body also starts to welcome in a nice, gentle massage for the low belly, the digestive organs. Deepening the breath into the belly. One more breath here. Beautiful. Nice and slow, bring your hands back to center. Walk your finger pads away from you, and then bend the elbows. Bring the palms to touch into prayer mudra, and then bring the thumbs in behind the nape of the neck here. From there, you might walk your elbows a little bit further away from you, and then sink more weight into your sitting bones. Nice deep stretch for the triceps here. Again, just resting the forehead down. And of course, if having the elbows bent feels like too much, you can always extend the arms back out. Remember, you can always change your mind. Just a few more breaths here. Following that nourishing breath up and down the length of the spine. Good, and then slowly begin to extend the arms out nice and long. Hug navel to spine, ground into your palms, and slowly start to lift yourself up. We'll find tabletop pose. So adjust the knees underneath the hips. Stack the shoulders over top of the wrists. Just take a moment to land here. Now listen to your knees. Your knees will tell you if you want your toes untucked, pressing the shoelace sides of your feet into the earth, or maybe tuck the toes, bringing that nice deep stretch into the soles of the feet. Find a nice neutral spine. Lengthen from root to crown here. Hug navel to spine. Wrap everything around your center. Now on your next breath in, begin to dip the navel slowly, slowly. Then drop the solar plexus, the heart, and then open the throat and lift the gaze. So don't get ahead of me here. Nice and slow. And on the exhale, begin to tuck the tail. Lift the navel, the solar plexus, the heart. Tuck the chin, broaden through the shoulder blades, and look to the toes. Flowing through this gentle cat-cow, flexion, extension of the spine, but take it at your own pace. Inhale again, nice and slow. Drop the navel, the solar plexus, the heart. Pull the collarbones forward, lift the gaze as you open the throat here, cow spine. And then exhale, slowly tuck the tail, hug navel to spine, lift the solar plexus and the heart, tuck the chin, look to the toes, cat. As slow as you can, vertebra by vertebra here. So we're not missing a thing. You might even close down through the eyes. Let go of the thinking mind and really just begin to pay attention to sensations. Notice where you feel sensation. And so we're never looking to experience any pain. Even though it is a wonderful teacher, we're really not looking for that today. Just one more full cycle through cat-cow. Good, and then in your own time, find your tabletop pose. Inhale, lengthen along your midline. As you exhale, draw your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then scoop your right hip up towards right shoulder, drawing the left hip away from the left ear. So you're coming into this really gentle lateral bend. As you inhale, find your midline, lengthen root to tail, root to crown, and exhale, left ear, left shoulder, and scoop your left hip up. Follow your breath here. Inhale, center. And exhale, this little side bend over to the right. Inhale, find your midline, and exhale over to the left. And so there's no rush here. Instead, it's really just an opportunity for you to become curious about how you feel. Finding all of those more tender parts of your body that require a little bit more loving attention today. If you find a sweet spot somewhere you'd like to stay and linger for a couple of breaths, feel free to stay there. There's no rush, but the next time you come over to the left, find your way back to center. From here, ground into your left palm and take a breath in as you sweep your right arm up. Maybe reach up to the sky. Open your chest. As you exhale, thread your right arm underneath your left, thread the needle or twisted tabletop. So reach as far as you can to the left side of the room and then lower your right ear, right shoulder down, hips stacked over top of your knees. If you'd like more support here, bring in a bolster, a pillow, something to support you underneath that right shoulder to lessen the degree of the twist here. Relax the head, close down through the eyes. Start to deepen back into the breath. Just notice how it feels to breathe into this shape. Remember, if it feels like too much, you can always come out. And a nice, more gentler variation you could find just a twisted child's pose. So drop your sits bones to your heels and then thread right arm underneath left. So much room for variation. And it's really all about just finding what works best for you and your body. If you're feeling called to deepen into the stretch here, you might even extend the left arm forward, lengthen into the left side of the body, or reach your left arm up to the sky and then maybe tuck your left hand in behind the low back as if you were trying to reach for the front of that right hip crease. Wherever you are is perfect. Just take a few more breaths. Good. Begin to ground into your left palm. Hug navel to spine, strong in your core here. As you breathe in, slowly, slowly unravel your twist. Maybe lift the right arm back up. Find that nice counter shape. And then lower right hand to meet left. Take 2 full rounds cat-cow here just to flush anything out. Good. Find your tabletop pose. Shift your weight into your right palm. Inhale, left arm lifts. And exhale, thread left arm under right. Reach as far as you can to the right side of the room. And then lower left shoulder, left ear down to the earth or to a prop. Hips over knees. Option to reach the right arm out in front. Or take the right arm to the sky. Maybe tuck the right hand in behind the low back. Remember, you can always change your mind. Close down through the eyes. Again, deepen into the breath. Notice all those places where you feel sensation. And start to breathe into that. Just one more breath here. Good. In your own time, begin to ground into your right palm, hug navel to spine. Inhale, unravel your gentle twist. Maybe reach the left arm up. And when you're ready, we'll meet back in table. And again, just 2 full rounds, cat-cow, that flexion, extension of the spine, wringing it all out. Good. Find your tabletop pose. Bring your knees, your ankles a little bit closer together here. Shift your weight into your right knee and extend the left leg back. Ground the ball of your left foot into the earth as if you were trying to press your left heel away from you. Hug navel to spine here. Press the earth away. Strong in your center. Now reach the right arm forward and up. Variation of sunbird pose. If you're feeling strong, confident, and safe today, maybe lift the left leg up. Find that crossbody activation from right shoulder to left hip. Hug navel to spine. If you're in the full variation of sunbird pose, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, draw right elbow towards your left knee at your center. Also accessible from variation 1. Inhale, extend. Find your midline. Exhale, contract. 2 more breaths. Starting to build that strength in the core, not only in the front, but in the back and both sides. Good. Find your variation sunbird pose and then lower back down, tabletop. Take a moment here. You might rock the hips a little bit from side to side or even find some nice hip circles. We'll come right onto the other side. So from tabletop, knees and ankles a little bit closer together. Shift your weight into your left knee, extend the right leg back. Press that right heel away from you. Stay here. Hover the left arm forward and up. Hug navel to spine. This is a strong pose. Option to lift the right leg up. Hips are square, right foot flexed, right leg engaged. Crossbody activation, other side. Breathe in deeply, find the length. Exhale, right knee towards left elbow. Find the strength. Inhale, open. Exhale, contract. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Find your sunbird pose and then lower down, tabletop. Again, a breath or 2 here. Maybe sway the hips side to side or find some little hip circles. Good. From here, you may set your blanket off to the side or continue to use it throughout your practice. From table, tuck your toes under, press into your palms, lift your hips up and back. The first downward facing dog today. So just begin to pedal out the feet. Bring in a little bit of movement here to begin to settle in. Maybe shift your hips from side to side. But take your time to find stillness here. So micro bend your knees. Press into your palms, your index fingers. Draw your heart a little bit closer to the top of your thighs as you spiral your armpits open. Lift your tail and then drop your heels. Let your head hang heavy. To release tension in the cervical spine and the upper back and neck, maybe shake your head no. Maybe shake your head yes. And just remember, if down dog ever feels like too much for the wrists, you can always come back down to table. You can also take blocks in underneath the hands for more support. From down dog, breathe in, lift both heels up, bend the knees, look forward, take a few big steps to come to the top of your mat nice and slow. Uttanasana, forward fold. Just bring your feet hip width, micro bend the knees, let your head, your upper body hang heavy. Welcome in the decompression of your spine here. You can rest your fingertips on the earth, onto a block, even a water bottle. Maybe take your hands to find opposite elbows.
But our focus here is not to have the legs fully extended, but instead bend the knees as much as you need to support the low back lumbar spine. Your low belly might even rest on the top of your thighs. And then from there, welcome in the decompression, the lengthening of your spine here. As you let the head fall heavy, again, you might shake the head no or yes. You might even sway a little bit side to side. Remember that breath up and down the length of the spine, that nourishing white light. We'll take 2 more deep breaths here. Each exhale, find that release, find that surrender. Good. Make your way back to center. Release your finger pads to the earth and then walk your hands up to your shins. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears, long spine, flat back. And then exhale, fold yourself in 2. 2 more breaths. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. 1 more. Good. Bend your knees, hug navel to spine, slow as you can, as many breaths as you need. Vertebra by vertebra, start to roll yourself all the way up. As you lift your gaze, inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, take the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Take a full breath here. Mountain pose, Tadasana, arms down by your sides, palms face forward. Take a deep breath and bring your shoulders forward and up. And exhale, let them fall back and down. Good. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms out wide. Kiss your shoulder blades together. Zip up your midline, hug navel to spine, and then lift from your heart. Micro bend your knees, tuck your tailbone out, and welcome this gentle C shape into the spine. Opening up across the front of the abdominal muscles. Opening up across the front of the chest. 1 more breath. Good. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, take your arms wide. And then bring your palms in to find the low back. Fingertips face down, peel your shoulders back, draw your elbows towards one another. Again, micro bend the knees, tuck the tailbone out, lift the gaze. Find that gentle back bend. From here, begin to hinge at the hips, bow forward, and just trace your finger pads from the low back all the way down the back of the legs, coming back into your Uttanasana forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins or the earth, halfway lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the palms, step back, high plank pose. We'll stay for a couple of breaths. Option to lower down the knees here to find supported plank. But wherever you are, spread your fingertips wide, press the earth away from you, hug navel to spine, wrap everything around your center. Think hug muscle to bone around the spinal column. Stay with your breath. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, drop the knees, hug the elbows in like little grasshopper wings and come down slow, belly, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the earth, feel your kneecaps lift. Inhale, low cobra, Bhujangasana. We'll pause for a moment here. Just gaze at the top of your mat, stay nice and long in the cervical spine. Drop your shoulders down away from your ears, elbows tucked in. Good, now let the palms become light. Squeeze your glutes, stay with the breath. Feel your multifidus muscles fire up, those muscles that run along the length of your spine for strength and support. 1 more breath in. Exhale, lower the palms, bow, chest, and chin. Again, inhale, low cobra. We'll pause here. Now lift the right leg up. Notice where you feel it. Lower the right leg, lift the left. Good, lower the left, lift both legs up. Stay for a couple of breaths, but lower down when you need to. Breathe in. Exhale, lower the feet, lower the chest and chin. Tuck your toes, press into your palms, come back up through supported plank or tabletop, and push your hips up and back, down dog. Take a deep breath in. Deeper breath out. Lengthen from crown to tail. From here, ground into your left foot and step your right foot to the inside of your right palm. Inch the left foot back. Find your runner's lunge. Stack right knee over right ankle here, and then lower down the back knee nice and slow. To support the back knee, you might bring that blanket back in, or you can fold the long edge of your mat in half, so it's like you have a double mat back there. You can also take blocks in underneath your hands here. So many options. Bring the earth up to you. Good. From here, you can stay or sweep the arms out and up. Find your nice low lunge. Now, without sinking into the hips, press into the right foot, pull the right hip back, so right leg active here. Open up into the front of the left hip flexor. Take hold of your left wrist with your right hand and side bend up and over to your right. Keep that containment in your core here. Draw the left arm back, honor the side bend. You may instead wish to take right hand to right hip, or even right hand to a block here. Always notice what your body needs and honor that. Find your way back to center. Reach up, interlace the fingers, bring the palms in behind the back of the head. Remember, not sinking into the hips. Zip up your midline, tone your core. Draw your elbows towards one another and then lean back just a bit. Let your head fall heavy into the weight of your hands. Gentle back bend. And the strength of the core brings this back bend into the mid-thoracic spine, upper back, and the neck. One more breath. Good. Find your center, reach the arms up. Take your hands to frame your front foot. Fire up that back knee. Step the right foot up and back, downward facing dog. Just a couple of breaths here. You might find stillness, maybe a little bit of movement. Maybe instead cat-cow from table. When you're ready, ground into your right foot and step the left foot to the inside of the left palm. Inch the right foot back. Left knee over left ankle here. Slowly descend the back knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Press into the left foot, pull the left hip back, square the hips to the top of the mat. Take hold of the right wrist with the left hand, side bend up and over to your left. Couple of breaths here. If you feel like you're bowing forward, draw the right arm back. Breathe into the right side. Good. Find your way to center, release your grip. Interlace your fingers, take a reverse dominant grip, and then bring the hands in behind the head. Zip up your midline, draw your elbows toward one another. Lean back just a bit. Let your head fall heavy into the hands, gentle back bend. Maybe a nice deep stretch for the shoulders. Beautiful. Come to center, reach your arms up. Take your hands to frame your front foot. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release. Inhale, come forward, high plank pose. From there, come forward onto the balls of your feet, shoulders just beyond the wrists. Lower the knees down first, or come down slow all together, but come all the way down, belly, chest, and chin. Untuck the toes, inhale, low cobra. And again, we'll pause here. This time, let the palms become light. And then lift both feet up. Maybe reach the arms out in front. If you're here, take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, cactus the arms out wide. Familiar sensation. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, squeeze, building strength into the back body. One more breath. Good. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, lower the feet, lower chest and chin. From here, stack your palms at the top of your mat. Create a little pillow for the forehead and just rest here a moment. Take a few deep belly, grounding breaths. In a prone position, notice how these deep breaths bring the breath into the upper back body, the mid back, the low back. Wonderful. Lift your gaze, take your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes. Press yourself up through supported plank table and push your hips up and back, down dog. Take a nice deep breath in. And a deeper breath out. Breathe in, lift both heels, bend the knees. Take a few steps to come to the center of your mat. Bend both knees deeply, come down to a little squat and sit right onto your bum here. Extend the legs out nice and long. This is another great opportunity to bring in your blanket underneath your sits bones to support the spine, but it also brings this little tilt of your pelvis forward. From here, bend the right knee, take the right knee out to the right side. Think seated tree pose. So the sole of the right foot comes to the inseam of the left leg. Now if your right knee is lifted, bring a block in underneath. Square your hips to the top of the mat. Take a nice deep breath in, reach both arms up. And then as you exhale, take your hands to find opposite elbows. Little flex of your left foot here. Draw your elbows back. Lengthen from root to crown. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge at the hips and bow forward just a bit. So we're not curving the spine here and surrendering, but there's a little bit of strength in the core, long in the spine, hinging at the hip. Inhale, come back up to seated. Exhale, hinge forward. We'll do this a couple of times. Remember, you can bend that left knee as much as you need to if you're feeling particularly tight in the hamstrings today. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, reach the arms up. Exhale, this time as you hinge at the hip, bow forward over the left leg, let yourself surrender. Take your hands to the outsides of the left leg. Inhale, lengthen from root to crown. And then exhale, see if you can fold even deeper. We'll stay for a couple of breaths. Just let the head hang heavy. If it feels like too much tension on the cervical spine, just take a block or a pillow underneath the forehead. You can get really creative with your props here. Diving into the seated forward fold, bringing that beautiful length and that flexibility into the muscles in the low back and that run along the length of the spine. When you're ready, slowly begin to roll the spine all the way up. Good. Take your right hand behind you, left hand to right knee, and just take a gentle twist over to the right. Use that back hand like a little kickstand to sit up nice and tall, hug your navel to your spine, maybe gaze over your right shoulder. Good. Slowly make your way back to center. Extend the right leg long, bend the left knee, and we'll come onto the other side. So left knee comes out to the left side. You can always support the left knee with a block. Sole of the left foot to the inseam of the right leg. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, sweep the arms up. Exhale, take hands to find opposite elbows. Gently draw the elbows back. Breathe in. Exhale, hug the belly in and hinge at the hips as you lean forward. Find your edge here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, lean forward. 2 more breaths. Seeing where the tip of each breath takes you here. Be using this strength to find your edge. Good. Come up to seated. Reach the arms up. And then follow the breath as you hinge at the hips, bow all the way forward. Take your hands to the outer edge of the right leg. Inhale, think halfway lift. And exhale, fold more deeply. 3 breaths here. Remember, you can micro bend that right knee as much as you need. Bringing this nice curvature, restorative shape into the spine. And seated forward folds are these wonderful, profound postures where in one easy pose we find this beautiful stretch for the entire length of the back body, all the way from the heels to the crown of the head. Nice and slow, start to roll your spine all the way up. Take your left hand behind you, right hand to left knee. Little twist over to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder, deepen into the breath. Good, and release, find your center. Extend both legs out long. Scoot your bum forward, and we're gonna come down onto the back body. Now, if coming down onto the back in a supine position doesn't feel great for you or supportive, you can always take a blanket and lay it underneath your body, or you can always just skip it. We won't be here long. Take your hands to your hamstrings, slowly roll all the way down, hug the knees up into the chest, and just rock a couple of times side to side. Welcoming in this little massage for the low back, the sacrum. You might even trace your knees in the shape of a little circle here, massaging out that sacral area. Just moving in one direction and then the other. Beautiful. When you're ready, lower your feet down to the earth. Bring your feet hip width. Scoot your heels in nice and close to your bum. Relax your arms down by your sides. Now I'll invite you to reach for your block, maybe a cushion, even a stack of books. So we come into a supported bridge pose. So when you're ready, tuck your tail. Eliminate that space between the low back and the earth. Find your Kegels, press into your feet. Inhale, lift the hips up, containment in your core here, and then take your block on its lowest setting just underneath the low back, the sacral shelf. And then relax the weight of the pelvis and the hips down. You might take a moment to tuck the shoulder blades under, relax your arms down by your sides, flip your palms to face the sky, and just begin to settle in here. Remember, it's important to find that sweet spot, that little shelf of the sacrum where this pose starts to feel really nourishing and supportive for the low back, as we welcome in that gentle acupuncture-like pressure. And this can be really helpful for relieving symptoms of sciatic pain, simply tension in and around the hips and the low back. Also a place where we carry a lot of emotional tension. And so we'll just be here for about 5 more breaths, but remember, you can come out at any time. Simply allowing the activity of gravity and the support of the earth to do all of the work here for you. And when you feel ready, we'll begin to come out, but just know that sometimes these poses can feel really nourishing and you might want to stay. But when you're ready, begin to ground into the feet, lift the pelvis up, slide your prop from underneath you, slowly roll the spine back down. From there, hug the knees into the chest. And then bring your feet down to your mat, take your feet wider than the hips. Bring your arms out nice and wide, ground into your palms. Let the knees fall to the right and bring your gaze up and over to the left. Finding a supine twist. And notice the left knee as it falls inward, that internal rotation. Notice where you feel it. And then around the left hip, the low back. And then inhale, come to center, and exhale, knees to the left and gaze over to the right. Again, just paying attention to that knee that falls inward and where you feel it. And just flow with a couple of breaths as it feels nourishing from side to side here. There's no rush. Wonderful. Bring your knees back up to center, feet wide, let the knees knock together. Take your palms to rest on the low belly, really grounding into the sacrum and the low back here for a couple of deep grounding belly breaths. If you're still with us from seated, know that we will close our practice today with the option for a short meditation from seated or from laying down, so you can choose. You may instead to just stay just as you are here in tripod pose or pose of constructive rest. If you feel called to find Shavasana, extend the arms, the legs out long, with the invitation to bring in a bolster or a cushion underneath the knees. This can be really supportive and to help relieve tension in the low back when in a supine position. And so whether you're finding Shavasana or a seated position, just take a moment to land there. Close down through the eyes. And wherever you are, I'll invite you to bring your right hand to the navel and your left hand to your heart. Come back to the breath, the already present rhythm of your breath here. And once again, begin to visualize that beautiful white light of the breath, cleansing and nourishing up and down the length of the spine. As you breathe in, imagine the breath as that white light flowing all the way down to the base of the spine. And as you exhale, imagine the breath flowing up and out the crown of the head. Just taking a few breaths here, excuse me, just imagining the cleansing, healing, nurturing power of the breath. And I welcome you to stay and rest as long as you need here. In this moment of consolidation, this moment of stillness at the end of your practice, to really allow the essence of your efforts and the afterglow to really steep and set a tone not only into your body, but into your central nervous system. A moment of deep rest because you deserve it. I'd like to thank you all so much for choosing to practice with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, let me know where you're from and what you would like to see more of. This video was initiated by special request, and I'm so happy to share this content with you. I love to see this community of like-minded beings growing from around the world. And if you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe because I'm releasing new content each and every week. These yoga asana practices, these sadhanas, as well as breathwork clinics, asana clinics, yoga nidra meditations, and soon to come restorative practices. So there's so much to come, and I'm so excited. As well, if you would like to close your practice today with a guided meditation of yoga nidra, an effortless form of meditation, you might choose one of the videos that may pop up on either side of me here. And yes, I invite you to share this content with someone who you think may benefit deeply from this practice. Our spinal health is so important and conducive to a really healthy overall physical body and our well-being. Thanks so much. Have a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Namaste.